What's up YouTube, it's your girl AK and we are back with another market analysis. So y'all, I'm gonna go super quick because I have things to do like right after this. So this is gonna be very raw, very uncut, but I just want to give y'all like my idea of like the market, what I'm currently in, what we went through last week, and like what to expect for next week. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. Boom, we are getting into it. We are on GJ. So last week we took sales on GJ. If you follow my Telegram, I did send out like a notification like, hey, like I'm looking to take sales, and I'm gonna explain why I took sales on GJ and show you what I'm looking for to continue into next week, right? So starting on the weekly time frame, we see that the weekly we had this really big push, right? The weekly is overall bullish, right? So we understand that. Now we did start rejecting this level, this very important psych level. This is psych level 215. So we are starting to see some rejections. I still think we're overall, still bullish. But I think we're just seeing a slight pullback right now. So in fact, if you go on the daily, you can see even clearer that daily time frame, again, we are also bullish, right? So we were making higher highs. Oops, wrong one. We were making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, right? Right here, we actually broke structure to the downside, making the daily bearish, but then we broke back above, making it bullish again. So the daily is bullish, right? And what we're doing now, we're just coming back for a retest on the daily time frame. So we're just looking to come back and grab all this liquidity, right? Price left so many gaps in the market that price has to come back and fill. So price is looking to come back and basically come and grab this liquidity before looking to make a new push to the upside. That is what I believe on the daily time frame. So I'm kind of waiting for that to see kind of how that plays out. And so while we're in this pullback, we're actually trading the pullback down. So I trade any direction the 4 hour goes, right? Any direction the 4 hour goes, that's the direction I'm trading. So I understand that these 4 hour sales are temporary because long term, we are bullish on the daily. So we maybe get into sales last week. At one point on the 4 hour, we were bullish, right? We were making, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, right? And then we got to a point where price kind of started to stall in this area, right? We started to stall. And that's when I really kind of scaled in to pay attention to structure to see what was going on. So if you look really closely, and I'm going to hide this for a second. But if you look really closely, you can see when we started stalling around this level, around this psychological level 215, notice something, right? So we were making highs, right? We came down, make a low, make another high, and then look what happened right here. So right here, because it made this high, we have 4 hour support sitting right here. So this is my 4 hour support. A lot of y'all ask me, where do I draw my support at, like my boxes? So I draw my support, I start at the candle body. So this candle body right here, I start at the candle body and I just drag it down to that candle wick, right? So I'm just looking at this whole area. I'm really paying attention to that candle body, but I'm just keeping it in ideas like, hey, this is an area, right? But when I'm looking for break of structure, I'm looking at that candle body. But yeah, I basically dragged this out and I was watching structure and I was saying, okay, we're not respecting 4 hour structure anymore, right? This was 4 hour support and we just came and we broke and we closed below structure. Not only that, but we came up and look, we failed to do what? We failed to break that high, okay? Came down again, tried to break the high, couldn't, right? We broke even lower, right? We made it even lower support level. So you can mark that off, right? So we have lower support here on the 4 hour. So you see that we're starting to break 4 hour support, and then right here, we had this liquidity, we grabbed liquidity and then we came back down and we broke 4 hour support. So when I saw that price was shifting structure and that we were no longer, respecting 4 hour support, what I did, I just placed a sell stop order below this 4 hour support because I know if we break 4 hour support, we're just gonna keep making the same, downward pattern of making, lower lows and lower highs, right? So I'm just looking to continue holding this pattern to the downside. So yeah, I put a sell stop below these 4 hour supports. I put my stop loss above this high where we swept these highs. And yeah, I'm just looking to ride it back down to this daily area of interest. So honestly, if I'm being completely honest, since I'm already in the trade, I'm not necessarily looking to jump into anything particularly new. But I am looking to potentially scale into more positions. So if you see right here, really on this 4 hour time frame, we have this break of structure. We're already starting to retrace back into this area. So really what I'm looking for, I'm looking to see if I can catch a scaling position, like see price kind of pull back somewhere back in this area and then look to make another low, right? So I'm actually gonna end up drawing a Fibonacci, right, from this swing high to this swing low, and I'm gonna look to see, okay, are we coming back to, you know, retest this area that we broke, right? So kind of looking to see if price can get to around this golden zone, which is also lining up with this psychological level 215. So just a lot of influences. I'm going to put alerts around this area to see, like, can we come back? And once we get some kind of pattern, maybe scale down to like maybe like a 1 hour, right? Notice how the 1 hour is starting to make an uptrend. The 1 hour we're making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs on the 1 hour, right? I'm just waiting for this 1 hour to shift back bearish with the overall trend. So once the 1 hour starts to lose momentum, and then we start to break structure, right, retest, don't want to go no higher, and we're continuing down, this is when I'm looking to enter a second position on GJ, right? So yeah, this is pretty much all I'm looking for next week. Now some of y'all do want me to look at different markets, because all I trade really is yen pairs, and I actually asked y'all in the Telegram what y'all want me to look at, so I'm gonna pull a few things up. The thing that really caught my eye, which is pretty similar to this, is GU. So with GU, it's something very similar, right? Notice that if we jump to a weekly, we are bullish on the weekly. Let me show you why. So on the weekly, we drop down, right? Made a high, we drop down again, and then we end up breaking that weekly high, right? Making the weekly time frame bullish. So my weekly time frame is actually currently bullish as of now. Jumping to a daily time frame, same thing. So if I switch to a line chart, you can see it clearer. There was a point where we were making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? Tried to break, we couldn't, just, you know, still making lower lows, lower highs, right? We got to a point where we were kind of like ranging, and then we finally broke out of this range. So we broke this weekly swing high, right? Making the daily time frame bullish as well. So on the daily time frame, again, you can try to wait for a pullback on the daily, right? It looks like we're starting to maybe get one now, some kind of pullback to look to go higher. In fact, you can draw a Fibonacci from this swing low to the swing high to kind of see where price wants to retrace back to. So again, but right here on the 4 hour, notice how right here, right, we ended up breaking this high. So this is a swing high. We ended up coming up and we broke this high. We got this high, right? Took out this high, came back down, right? Price, we're kind of ranging, we're ranging here, right? And we eventually break up, right? Right here, price, we never really broke this high. So we're actually still within this 4 hour range, right? This is a swing low, this is a swing high. We're still in the range right now. So I don't really want to trade this 4 hour down, because this is a range, right? This, like, we haven't actually officially broken structure yet in the 4 hour until we break this swing low. So I don't feel comfortable trading this 4 hour down at all until we actually break this swing low, like until price actually comes and breaks the swing low, or we make a, you know, a new high, right, and then break structure, right? Until that happens, I'm kind of iffy about trading it down. So really, I'm just waiting to see the daily come back to this area, right? See how it reacts to these levels. Once the 4 hour does eventually, you know, break structure, then we can wait for that 4 hour shift the structure to the upside to shift back to bullish. So at some point, the 4 hour is gonna, you know, shift back to a bullish motion, and that's how we're gonna know to continue with the overall trend, like always. So with GU, this is what I'm looking for. Really, I'm just analyzing for people who like to trade GU. I'm focusing more on GJ. That's just me. Yeah, that is pretty much it. There is one more thing I'm keeping an eye on. This is actually a little different. I'm actually watching Bitcoin, y'all. I'm watching Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been pretty interesting to me, not gonna lie. So I see that on the weekly, we are coming up to this weekly area interest. Like, we're starting to, you know, come back to a level where there were previous sellers. Currently, we're like on this buying trend on the daily and 4 hours. That's kind of what we're paying attention to right now. But I'm noticing that, like, if you look on the daily, I'm gonna hide this for a second so y'all can see it. If you look on the daily, right, we have broken this daily high. So the daily is bullish, right? We broke the swing high. We're making higher highs, higher lows, right? We're just making higher highs, higher lows. We're coming back to retest, right? If you really pay attention to the 4 hour structure, because that's what I trade, 4 hour structure. I'm kind of watching to see, you know, how we shift up. So right here, I see that we had this big push to the upside, right? We had this big break of structure on the 4 hour time frames. I can mark this out as a break of structure, right? We had a big push, and right now we just came back to, you know, grab liquidity and retest this area. So we came down to retest. Notice how we have not broken these lows yet. Like we have not cleared these swing lows. So because we haven't cleared these swing lows, we are still, you know, bullish overall on the 4 hour. So I'm waiting to see the lower time frame start to shift in a bullish motion. I can even draw my fib tool so y'all can see where we are. So this is swing low, this is the swing high, right? I'm looking to see if we can potentially get to psych level 80,000 up here, right? So right here, you know my targets, right? We have liquidity, we have the 27 extension, and then the most closest psych level is psych level 80,000. So I'm very curious to see if Bitcoin can get to this level. I used to trade crypto a little bit last year. I don't do it as much anymore, but I'm starting to get back into it, like a little bit more interested into it. So I'm seeing that on this 1 hour time frame, we actually did end up breaking above bullish. So it looks like we're starting to shift in that bullish motion. So I'm seeing right here, this was the last 1 hour resistance level, right? Notice on the 1 hour, we were just making, you know, like lower highs. Like we weren't breaking structure at all, but we finally broke structure on the 1 hour time frame. So basically I'm looking to see price, you know, we have this push. I'm looking at price to show me that we don't want to go any lower, that we do not want to break this low, and we're looking to break back above this level. So when price looks to break back above this level, I am going to be interested into potentially, you know, finding some kind of entry to the upside. I might play some kind of buy stop or whatever, but I need to see price show me it doesn't want to go any lower, it doesn't want to break this low, and it wants to break back above this level. So I'm going to be watching Bitcoin to see what it does, see if we can potentially, you know, get to liquidity as well as the 27 and maybe even, you know, psych level 80,000. So I am watching Bitcoin. A little new for me. Well, not new, but like it's been a while, right? But I just want to kind of show some different things other than yen pairs, because a lot of y'all been asking me to show other things than yen pairs. So there you go. I have to get going. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. Sorry I went so quickly. I'm on a tight schedule today. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll be watching my phone, watching for comments. And yeah, until next time, I hope y'all have an amazing, great, wonderful trading week. Bye, y'all.